Welcome back, everyone. Connecting Dots 2 here. We're Monday, February the 5th, 2018, and I've decided to share the emails that I received from the late Geoff Palko. And the only reason why I'm sharing them is because I need to put this rumor to rest, finally, once and for all. I'm tired of all the lies being spread about myself and those about Geoff Palko. It's rather disgusting to see that the people that are making these videos on Fukushima, in some cases, are ignorant, are not part of the fraud, just don't know the facts. So they're spreading the rumors. The ones I'm really disgusted with are the ones that are behind the frauds, that are twisting the facts and leading to bullshit parade attacks. Well, more recently, I'm not sure if anyone saw the video, but that was over at my Connecting Dots 2 YouTube channel. Let's just go there for a second. I should have had this lined up as an intro, but I wasn't quite prepared to do this today. I'll be honest with you, this is a last-minute thing. So this is the stuff here that's being said about me. Silver Gold Man Connecting Dots 2 is a pervert and a thief. You'll realize that when you go over these videos, they all have the same thing in common. There's no proof. So one of the biggest things you'll notice about myself is I'm not about showing my face. It's not about the face, it's about the facts. So if you're someone who enjoys listening to the talking head on YouTube and your TV, go back to them. You're not going to enjoy my type of videos. My videos are not based upon my face. It's based upon the facts. And that's what I'm going to share in this video again. This live stream, I'm going to re-upload it and I'm going to share it. I want everyone to see what's going on, and I'll post the link to my Connecting Dots 1 forum, and you can go read the emails there if you want. But I'll cover here a good portion of them today, and that's the facts. The late Geoff Palko was the largest donator towards the Fukushima frauds, unfortunately. He was initially lending money. That's right, not giving money. He did give some away, but he was initially lending money to Dana Durnford to buy this boat to go out on the ocean, to take samples, marine samples, and have them tested. None of that ever happened. He's the largest donator, and this has got to end. When he got the facts, he woke up, and I'm hoping this is going to wake up everyone who's on the sideline here, not able to figure out what's taking place on YouTube. It's pretty disgusting. It's pretty disgusting. So yeah, you're not going to see my face. You're going to see a lot of facts. He got pissed off too when I exposed him as a shill. That's the way it happens on YouTube. So yeah, I'm going to be sharing emails that were sent to me back in 2014. And you'll see the bottom line. This is Geoff Palko's own words. I do recall hearing Blanche and some others claiming you were the cause of my hospital trip. I laughed out loud because this is exactly what these people have been doing. It's been Blanche in a group, the same group that Geoff Palko ended up warning us in his videos, which I'll get into a little later on. But first, I want to get into his emails, because people can't wait to see the emails. Well, he asked me not to publish these emails. Obviously, it was before he passed away. But regardless, he knew that I'd published the evidence from his family, what they shared with me. I'm not sure if anyone was around back then, but I started this thread on my forum. Fukushima Geoff betrayed by Kevin Blanche and Dana Durnford. So this is over at the forum, connectingdots1.com. And I'll come back to this later on, because this is a reference point where you'll be able to see the checks themselves that were sent to Thomas Ackerman. This was the lien on this house that he took out on his house to buy Dana Durnford the boat for $16,000. The same boat that Dana Durnford was supposed to go out on the ocean with and do marine sample testing. Never took a single sample. Like I said, I hope you folks wake up here. This is what Kevin Blanche is all upset about, because I made friends with the family. they realize I'm the real McCoy. Even though I don't show my face in any of my videos, they realize, hold on a second, this guy makes common sense. Thank you for exposing the person who scammed our brother, the person who scammed my son. That's right. I was even in contact with his biological mother. And I have to do this because this video that just came out here, this person, okay, Bubba J. Blanch, obviously it's someone who's trolling Kevin Blanch. And guess what? It's working so well. So well. Unbelievable. I mean, when I see this person who's almost, what, 6 subscribers, 68 thumbs down, that indicates to me that Kevin Blanch is in damage control. And if you know what's happened recently over at Beautiful Girl by Dana Durnford's channel, he's what? Closed down all his thumbs up and his thumbs down. The voting all disappeared. Geez, that kind of reminds me of another YouTuber I just exposed over at my Silver Gold Man YouTube channel who had to do the same thing also. Hired a couple of moderators to clean all the people that were exposing the truth in the comments. And then, well, what was our last venue? Thumbs down. Yeah, so then what did he do? He ended up closing all his thumbs down too. So this is what happens. This person, Bubba, whatever, they're smart enough. They know that if this was 68 thumbs down on this little channel with only 220 views on a video, the person's smart enough to know they're having an effect here. So what I have to deal with is this person here, Paul Mobley. I have to deal with this person because they seem to be, they're drunk on the Kool-Aid, and I'm reading what's being said. I'm like, okay, you know what? This is a perfect time for me to share these emails and just get this out of the way once and for all. Well, let's get right into it. I'm still waiting for your proof instead of God's false statements. Obviously, these emails exist. It's not like I just pull them out from my hat. I just don't think links remember, and didn't think that would backfire before it did. Find emails, spoon-fed trolls. You don't spoon-feed them. Well, you're being spoon-fed. Let's get right into it where it gets. Okay, so Casio, this person, Paul Mobley, is speaking to Casio, right? Lewis kept the money that was for Geoff's son. Wow. Okay. And it was really that comment. I'm like, okay, you know what? Enough with this bullshit. I don't know where this Paul Mobley got this story, but I didn't keep the money. I'm not the person that set up the fund. Those videos are on my YouTube channel. It was Mary Palko who set up the fund. Lewis demanded Geoff give him the boat while Dana was out at sea through emails, and it's documented. Well, we're going to see about that. We're going to see about that, okay? Because I actually have the emails that you're supposedly have, okay? Even called Geoff a pussy. Yes, Cassie, Louis badgered Geoff up until his suicide. Well, we'll see about that. I was the last person contacting Geoff 2 months prior to his suicide. His first email was received on November 24th. You'll see here, I have the emails, right? I just didn't want to show them because, well, like I said, his own words are there. Please don't show my emails. But at this point, this needs to be cleaned up. So, yes, I've been in contact with Geoff's, not his son, but his mother, Mary Palko. And that's why she opened up the account so people could send money towards Geoff's son, because they realized, or she realized, you know, her son had been, his life savings had been taken from him. Her grandson had no inheritance. She was disgusted 4 days later when there was only $200 who had been given. And by the way, Casio was one of the people who sent some money towards that cause. 4 days later, she took it down because she was disgusted when what she was reading in the comments towards her son. She felt sick to her stomach. She took it down and she hated YouTube. I have to admit, I don't blame her. And I got to tell you this right now, Paul, and everyone else who doubts me as I get into this video. One of the big big problems we have here with Fukushima, and as I expose them, is an ongoing problem where you folks wake up to the truth and then you feel so embarrassed that you've been taken. Maybe you even donated money, you've been scammed, and then you went on in the comment section to call people like myself a bunch of shills, nuclear industry shills, trolls, whatever the case may be, and then you feel ashamed because all of a sudden the lights went on because you saw what? Not my face, you saw the facts. And that's the problem, because you're going to run away because you've been shamed. You feel ashamed. And it's not time to run away. It's time to stand up like Cassio and many others who have stuck with this movement. Because I'm not only here in the Fukushima realm busting the Freemason frauds. I'm also in the gold and silver financial sector busting them. Yes, I've warned of every single stock market crash a full 6 months before they happen. And those are, a great majority of them are on video except for one of them. This system is rigged, and it's rigged right on YouTube. And once you wake up that it's rigged, it's important that you don't run away. We need you out here joining us. Cassio, that's who's been lied to during this whole process. His mother, you and I are the same belief. I'm not really affiliated really with anyone on here. I like Kevin because he was the very first person on YouTube to say that Fukushima Daiichi was hit by a tsunami, which is absolutely false. I'll tell you what he did say. Kevin Blanch was the first person to say that Fukushima Daiichi nuclear explosion had caused a rare form of AML cancer, a very rare form, very deadly form. 9 months after the meltdown, he went on YouTube telling people that he had came down with AML from the Fukushima meltdown. Folks, it takes 5 years before the first signs of cancer show up after initial contamination. This is the problem with the talking heads. Just a lot of talk, don't have any facts. My videos, based on facts. Don't believe me? Google it. How long does it take for cancer to show up after contamination? You'll be fooled. Better yet, when I made the videos exposing how this very first person on YouTube said they received radiation from Fukushima and it now caused him an AML, a rare form of AML cancer, and he was doing treatment, yet I exposed the fact that anyone that has this type of cancer, they are down and out of energy. They cannot bounce around. They sure as hell cannot be making videos with, the connections hooked right up to his chest there. Not lost any weight. I mean, he looks a little pale, but that's only because he's out in the sun right now. It's midday where he's standing. This guy had a suntan. We have one video footage of him in a hospital, an examination room. He's not hooked up to any IVs or any of this shit during his whole time. How long does it take to get over AML cancer? Well, sure as heck, not just a week, that's for sure. So we would have footage after footage after footage for months on end of him looking pale, not being able to lift up his arms, losing massive amounts of weight, yet none of that exists. What we have is a guy flailing his arms with no weight loss, looking good. In fact, he looks worse right now than he did back then when he had cancer. How do you like them apples? When he claimed to have gotten AML cancer, he was in better shape, bigger muscles, more weight. He just lost weight after his what? His heart triple, whatever. He's some heart surgery. The doctor probably told him you need to stop eating those fatty foods, whatever. You need to change your diet. So now he's just lost weight now. So the scammer went on YouTube telling them all that I was responsible for it. And now the backlash is coming back because I made the video here just a little while back on Connecting Dots 2. Fukushima, Dana Durnford, Kevin Blanch. That was a month ago. And where was the other one? Fukushima uranium fuel rods found. Well, I noticed none of those guys spoke about that one, eh? It's funny, eh? When people say, well, no, you made up the news. Really? I made up the news. I made up the news. This is unbelievable. Well, the good thing is, like I said, we're going to get into some emails and you'll see that I didn't make them up. So Kevin Blanch is in damage control. He's pretty upset. He's trying to say that Fukushima news or whatever, Google supports deadly what? Global war against anti-nuclear environmental activists? No. In fact, Google supported him. The day I made the video exposing that he had lied to everyone, that he'd gotten this rare form of AML cancer, and I used his own videos. His own arms up, flailing. And this time in the video, he didn't have it. The connection wasn't in his chest. He had a piece of pipe dangling on out of his nose, telling everyone that he'd been released out of the hospital that night, that morning, sorry. He spent the entire day, the whole night in the hospital, woke up in a pool of blood, didn't know how he got there, had no idea how he got to the hospital, and he woke up in the hospital in a pool of blood. Lost so much blood, he just about died, and there he was on the lawn of the school, this whatever university that support him, okay? They support this guy. He's a fraud. He's connected to the Freemasons. That's why if you even look up on his shirt, look, what does he have here? The triangle. He calls himself the 33rd degree can of soup. Well, 33rd degree Freemason, whatever he wants to call himself. The fact is, he's in damage control. He's upset at this point, and all he keeps doing is the salmon acute collapse. Absolute proof. Fukushima meltdowns killed the Pacific. And I keep telling, and I'll say this again, anyone that believes that the Fukushima is responsible for the salmon collapse, please come have a live debate on me, because the first question we'll be asking you is, do you know what it is? Well, we probably haven't figured it out yet, but here we go. If the Pacific Ocean was so contaminated that it was killing the Pacific salmon, then why aren't the other fish in the Pacific Ocean dead? Why aren't they dying? Go check the price of seafood. It has not risen. It has not changed since Fukushima. How come? Better yet, we all know that the younger the mammal or the fish, whatever it may be, gets hit with contamination, the more likely the odds that it'll die, right? That's right. That's why I made the videos how even when the Fukushima meltdown, when the plume worked its way across the USA, they'd finally figured out that there was a roughly about 14,000 infant mortality deaths that were associated with Fukushima back in 2011. I even shared with everyone here. I live right here on the west coast of Canada, the province of British Columbia. It also saw a rise of 62% a few months after the Fukushima meltdown in the infant mortality death rate. And that's all because your DNA cells are splitting off because you're creating new cells. So therefore, if the Fukushima radiation in the Pacific Ocean was so high that it was killing off the salmon, would you not assume that since the salmon are all born in the fresh water, that's right, not in the ocean, they're born in the fresh water. In the fresh water, they're not even in contact with Fukushima radiation since day one, yet all the other fish are. So therefore, would it not be easy to assume that, well, then all the other fish, their numbers must be going down a lot more drastically because they're all born right in the Pacific Ocean, yet the salmon are all born in fresh water and, don't make it quite down there for what? How long? 6 months, a year? The fact is, where's all the death from all the other fish? And there are none. And if you go to my channel, Connecting Dots 2, this is what they're pissed off, by the way. They're pissed off because I made the video, again, not showing my face, pulling out the data. That's what you folks want, right? You want the data. Connecting dots to the Fukushima versus the Pacific blob in the salmon, population. Go check the video. It's 20 minutes long. I'm not going to waste your time so you can look at my face and tell me I can tell you a bunch of bullshit lies. I went and pulled up the data. I did some real research on it, and that's what Kevin's pissed off about, because he knows that people are waking up. He fools them at first, tossing in the can of soup bullshit and shouting and pretending to hate, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you find out that he's nothing but a lying hose bag telling everyone that he's gotten sick from Fukushima. Yeah. Opening up all these fake YouTube channels, giving himself praise. I'm like, what? How come his own subscribers don't call him out on that shit? Look at that shit. This is his own fake channel. You can see it's not working out for him. He opens up a backup, only 46 went. Oh yeah, good thing he subscribes to himself too, right? He can keep his bullshit rolling. Yeah. Look at that. Here's another one. The Robin Hood Party. He calls himself the Robin Hood Party. There we go. Another YouTube channel. Same shit. He looked like a guy who came out of cancer? No, he's looking more frail now, isn't he? Look at that. Yeah, so Mr. Troll is pretty upset because people have figured him out, and we're going to get into it because I've had enough of these lies being spread on YouTube about me. And I figured, you know what? Let's just share this stuff. Let's just get it out in the open. Just get it out in the open. So I'd also like to remind everyone that since we're streaming live right now, none of your comments, if you say really good comments, are going to be here for anyone to see once the video has been processed. Please come back and leave your comments thereafter, okay? And I'm asking anyone that believes, even after we go through this evidence, if you still believe that somehow I'm responsible for his death and I'm lying about Fukushima, well, I'll gladly have you on a live debate with me. Gladly. I've offered Kevin Blanch and Dana Durnford. In fact, I've offered Dana Durnford $3,000 US to come out and debate me. He even refused when I threw money in it. So, and if you have good comments right now, well, I'll ask you to please hold off. I will come back to them because I do want to see what people have to say about this later on. I'm just not ready to get into comments right now. Thanks for the thumbs up, folks. Paul Begley is a scammer too? Absolutely. Very informative, exposing the fraud. You're more than welcome. Okay, let's get into it. I'll come back to the comments later on. I want to get into the emails, and I gotta tell you, well, number one, he said not to share his emails. So that was one of the big things. As I said before in the beginning, that I did receive the checks and even his bank statement. That was not by his own doing. He was actually in the hospital at that point. What ended up happening is Geoff had found Kevin Blanch, Dana Durnford, and Thomas Ackerman on YouTube making videos about the Pacific Ocean was dead. This was in August of 2014. Geoff happened to be sitting at home on morphine. He'd hurt his back 8 years previously. He was on a work disability, off at work, off at home, and he just had a small income coming in from his work disability. But long story short, he was high on morphine. He was dealing with chronic pain. So unfortunately, when you start taking painkillers, quite often the person gets addicted. Quite often, and especially when you're dealing with this chronic pain that's not going to get any better. His case was getting worse by the year. So yeah, popping a lot of pills. So they took advantage of someone who was popping pills, who believed in them, and started sending them money to come up and visit him. You'll soon see here with the emails, that all changed, especially Thomas Ackerman. Man, I don't know, this guy, where's that email? Right here. So you can see this one's November 25th. So everyone will I want everyone to pay attention to the dates here. So you can see this is the following day after he sent me the email, and he says, CD, please don't put my emails on the net. I'm sorry, Geoff, but I have to at this point because they're dishing me, and I know how you feel about Fukushima frauds, and I feel this will have a great impact. He goes on to say, I spoke with Ackerman prior to the hospital. This is prior to him falling. Excuse the pun, but he literally had his own meltdown because he found out at that point that he'd been scammed. Anyways, he goes on to say, I spoke with Ackerman prior to the hospital. It was a big red herring to me. He said I should send Blanche more money. More money. Like I said, I have the paperwork. As the GP No Regrets Fund is not doing well. I said, no way. I sent Blanche $18,000 already. I also got Blanche a new iPad. That's right. And it's, the best thing is anyone who listened to Blanche back then, they would all remember, that's weird. He said he hated Apple. That's no surprise. The long-term viewers, they would say, damn it, connecting dots. Yes, that's right. He did say that many times. He hated Apple, yet he got him, Geoff, to buy him a new iPad to use when he was here in June of 2014. Okay, June of 2014. I believed in these guys and their campaign and thought my support would help our planet survive. Like I said, they scammed the largest donator of all time when it comes to Fukushima. This guy put more money in than anybody else. They scammed him and then turned around and tried to make it sound like I was responsible for him having committed suicide. I kid you not. I wanted to clarify that Connecting Dots was not responsible for my break during September and October. The Fukushima hound should know that. He had nothing to do with it. As I shared many times, I did not follow his work. Someone accessed his YouTube channel after he passed away. That's right. They accessed his YouTube channel after he passed away, Geoff Palko, and they took the video down. And they put Kevin Blanch's YouTube channel there, like as if he was promoting Kevin Blanch. So Kevin Blanch scanned him for $18,500 by telling him that he had worked as a financial advisor, as a hedge fund manager. That's right. Kevin Blanch told Geoff Palko that he was an ex-hedge fund manager and he'd worked the financial world for years. And he could manage his money for him. And that's why Geoff Palko put $18,000 into his hands, okay? That was the only reason. And in fact, we find out later on that Kevin Blanch owns a stuckodamage.com website. It's a Kevin Blanch plastering company. This is Kevin Blanch's own website. He says in his video, I've been a plasterer for 35 years. You want to hear it? It's 4 minutes long.
99.999, that's real Venetian plaster. 99.9999% of all the so-called Venetian plaster done in this country is not Venetian plaster.
Okay, here he is here.
Drywall mud with some color in it over plaster. Color in board is not Venetian. My site is stuckodamage.com.
Here we go.
My site is stuckodamage.com. Go there, download my how-to packet on doing real Venetian plaster. I've been a plasterer for 35 years.
For 35 years, he's been a plasterer. He never worked as a hedge fund manager. Why doesn't someone call the police in the United States and have him arrested for fraud? He scammed a Canadian. By the way, people were asking me, why doesn't Geoff Palko go after them? He couldn't. He was flat broke. You know how much money would cost just on the deposit, the retainer you have to leave to the lawyer for him to deal with a case outside of Canada? He scammed him for his life savings. He couldn't afford it. That's why he had to take the lien out on his home, remember? Oh, right here. $16,576. That was a lien he took out so Dana Durnford could buy the boat, go out on the Pacific Ocean, do the marine sampling, have the samples tested, and then come back on YouTube and share it with everyone. Look, I've tested it, and it turns out the fish here along this shoreline have this much radiation. The fish over here on that shoreline have this much. Oh, this one here is behind. They don't have as much. He never did anything like that. He spent over 9 months on the ocean, which is an absolute lie. You don't go out in the middle of the Pacific, not in the middle. You don't go along the Pacific shoreline in the middle of the winter by yourself in a 24-foot long Zodiac. He parked his boat up there. He stayed in a hotel room, and on the nice days he went out, checked out the islands with his video camera. Not a single testing, not a single test was ever done. Like I said, and Thomas Ackerman screwed him over for over $2,000. Geoff was waking up to this whole shit, okay? He knew what was going on, and this is November 25th. I saw the video, poor Steve Jobs. The big painting in the background was made here at my place. Did you see the video where he says he made it up in Canada? Never mention it was made at my place. Great friend, Geoff. I mean, at that point, Geoff was pretty, it was evident that Kevin Blanch was trying to keep him right out of the picture. He was using the paintings that he painted up at Geoff Palko's place up in Canada. That was the same summer that Geoff actually paid to fly him up there, sent them checks. And by the way, it wasn't Geoff, only Kevin that went there. Ackerman also went there. That's why Ackerman got a $2,000 check. Like I said, it's a gang here. Ackerman's part of it. He's another Freemason fraud also. They're playing on the New Age group. That's unfortunately what they're doing. It's the New Age group. They figured we're going to reel them right in, these suckers. So, he chose to get the iPad. That's what I was asking. Or did you choose it for him? No. He wanted the iPad. What date is this? And I'll be honest with you, I haven't even filtered this stuff. So if anyone's saying, you know, gone through it, yeah, well, you'll soon find out. There's probably stuff here I probably regret you guys seen. But whatever. It's going to be live. There's not going to be any bullshit. It is what it is. The person's passed away, and I'm sick and tired of people trying to say that I'm responsible for his death. All kinds of bullshit. All kinds of lies. CD, the money is gone. This is the 24th, November 24th. Hang tight. We're on the first page. We're just starting off. And I'm not even going to go through them all, unfortunately, because there's 4 pages of emails. The guy was really upset. He wasn't getting his money back. All right. I'm going to go to this one here, I guess, November 24th. Hi, Dots. Have not watched any videos on YouTube for about 2 months now. He's just getting out of the hospital at this point, okay? He's discovered that these people had lied to him. He lost it, literally lost it, had a meltdown, ended up in the hospital, and now he's coming back out of the hospital, and he has to piece this whole puzzle together, how he's been scammed out of his life savings. You have to put yourself in this guy's position. He has no streaming income. He has his disability pension coming in that's keeping him alive and paying off the bills. He's not billing, you know, nest egg, so to speak. He's in survival mode. And now he's just realized that he went and took a lien out on his home, and the only cash money he had, he sent to Kevin Blanch over in the USA, who was supposed to invest it. And now most likely won't give him the money back, which he was right. He didn't. So anyways, he says, from 2 months now since my channel was closed down, I don't even know your name and only watched a few of your videos. It sure seems like I've created a wave within the Fukushima community on YouTube with my last few videos where I shared truths about the Fukushima players. I've only logged onto the internet a day ago, and the storm is still active 2 months later that I began. Wow, people are still talking about it. I need some time to understand my course of action before taking my next move. The boat with Dana and the GP No Regrets Fund with Blanche are my topics to understand more. Like I said, he'd been scammed out of Dana, who promised him he'd go out on the ocean and take all these samplings, and turned out all he did was take video footage of rocks. It's like that all over the Pacific Ocean, bare rocks. He says, I do appreciate your willingness to help me out. However, I need some time to formulate and understand what my next step will be, as I've only just logged on. It's overwhelming, all the stuff that happened since my last login, and I need to understand. I believe you have my phone number, and I would like to chat before I decide what I'm going to do with the boat. Do you guys see that? I would like to chat before I decide what I'm going to do with the boat. So at this point, he is still under the belief that Dana is going to give him back the boat, because that was what Dana had promised him. Dana said, I'm going to take your money. I'll go out on the boat. I'll buy a boat. I'll go out in the ocean. I'll do some marine sampling. I'll come back from the expedition for life is what he called it. He says, I'll come back from the expedition for life and I'll sell the boat and I'll give you back the cash so you can go back and put it back towards the lien on your home. None of that ever happened. But at this point, he still believes that he was going to get the boat. And I just noticed here, this is on November 9th, so I thought it was on the 24th. I guess that's the only email I had was from the 24th. Like I said, I've uploaded a video last night, which I'll take down if you want me to. People saying I was bullying him around. Does that really sound like I'm being a bully right there? Just let me know. I got a reply regarding storage in your boat in Pal River from this older guy who lives there almost his entire life, and he's upset also at how Dana is scamming people. So here's what he just sent me 2 minutes ago. They're pretty pissed off. They're pretty pissed off, man. Ackerman phone conversation. Understand my position. So I go read that one. CD, I'm under a lot of pressure now with many things I'm dealing with and need time to sort out my path forwards. I have lots to take care of currently, including my path forward with Blanche and others. Interesting. Okay, that was the slave labor. Did you see my original video where I lost it and went off on Dana, Ackerman, and Blanche? Yep, I saw it. Did you guys see it? This is when he first realized he'd been scammed. He lost it. Totally lost it. Man, was he ever upset. Hey, I guess I was the biggest supporter of the Fukushima program, and I believe I was helping save the planet from itself. That's why I did what I did. Recently posted a new video about the fun details with Blanche, as he is not showing any financial info and never will. Man, he was pretty pissed off, man. Here he's replying to me where I said, he won't pay you back. You know Dana's running a scam. You know You know they are the biggest. You know you are the biggest supporter of a scam. So why exactly are you allowing this fraud to go on? Is what I'm left wondering. Okay, hey CD, what do you have in mind moving forward? Like I said, guys, was I being a bully? No, I'm just laying out the facts that he's the person that could take this shit down. He's the person that had the power because the amount of stuff they'd put into this. I'm feeling fine doing something with the Blanch and Ackerman stuff for now, and the money I lost by deception to Blanch. Blanch is great at self-promotion, but short on supporting details and production. He sure gets to travel a lot and attends many anti-nuclear rallies, but why? Because he's a Freemason fraud set up here by the energy cartel to suck up all the money that would have came to people like myself that actually want to buy a gamma spectrometer and do real testing here along the West Coast. Are there any other real people who are listed in Dana's list of sites like I was, or do you believe they are all working together? I initially found Blanch and Ackerman from Dana's site. All the others are listed there. I'm not familiar with, except that they usually repost Blanch and Dana's videos, not so much Ackerman's. He was getting, at that point, he was realizing what the hell's going on, eh? Dots, I will do an interview. So, I can't remember what ended up happening, but it never went down, unfortunately. This is on November 28th. He committed suicide on December 24th, the day before Christmas, because he couldn't even afford to buy his only son a Christmas gift. It's pretty sad. I think back about all of this shit. Just Dots, I needed to make some videos to get myself feeling better and to say my piece on my channel. The one with your name in it was to share that you never influenced me before I went on my break. So again, okay, you people saying that I was responsible for him having his breakdown, he's saying it right there. I don't know why that video was taken down after he passed away. Like I said, someone accessed his YouTube channel. But at this point, November 28th, he's letting everyone know I'm not responsible. I had no influence before when he had this breakdown. It was Ackerman and the rest of them, the red herring. Remember? The red herring. He got the red herring. He knew exactly, didn't know exactly, but he damn well had a feeling something was not right. Dots, I will do an interview and start with Blanch not doing the fun as he said he would. I don't know what I will say, but I'll do my best in a world of hurt. I'm saying to him, I had no idea balls could grow so fast. Because I was telling him about and you know, Dana's also lying about Fukushima radiation in the West Coast, but seemed fine with doing nothing about it and letting others get fucked over also. Yeah, this is where you and I say goodbyes. I stand up for what's right. Even when you said that shit about me in videos, I still stood up for what was right. Does anyone remember that? Because he did before Geoff Palko. In fact, this applies to many people. Before they realize that I'm telling the truth, they'll say shit about me in the comments. This is what I was saying earlier on. Those of you that say crap about me, don't leave once you've woken up, because we need you. Okay? We need you posting those comments and other people, Fukushima scammers videos. These fraudsters need to be exposed. You need to share this video. Save it in your favorites and share it to everyone. There's the link. Go follow that shit. Silver Goldman's got the real evidence, not his face talking a bunch of bullshit, or his face, you know, just yak, yak, yak. Anyways, I won't allow Dana and company to continue lying to defraud more money from uninformed people. Maybe you're okay with that, but I'm not. I will continue blowing holes in his Zodiac scam and patiently wait for you to grow some balls to join me. And no, I didn't put any holes because that's the other thing. They said I traveled all the way up to, was it Courtney, to put holes in his Zodiac? No, blowing holes in the Zodiac scam. The fact that he collected money telling people that he was going to go out there and do sampling. So yeah, I told him, your balls, you grew fast. You're willing to come back. Blanch not doing anything with the funds as he said he would. I'm just realizing here I didn't have 3 pages. I thought it was 4 pages, but whatever. I'm still going to go through these for anyone who's interested. Dot said, we'll interview about Blanch and only Blanch to begin with. Dana owns the boat, so the trip he has scheduled can go as he plans. I'm not going to interview about Dana at this point. I will do an interview about Blanch and the GP No Regrets Fund. I'll speak about meeting Blanch in Ackerman in June 2014, but I'm not ready to interview about Dana because at this point, he still hopes Dana's going to follow through with the, you know, because like he said, Dana owns the boat. He did. He handed him over $16,000. He sent it to him. So Dana, the boat was in Dana's name. However, he figured, you know what? I'm not going to say anything about Dana. We're going to let Dana finish off that trip, right? To see Dana, what Dana shows. This is what he wanted. And Fukushima happened, and I want to see what Dana shows from his trip. And in the end, he showed nothing, okay? Nothing at all. Dana's name is on the title of the boat, so it's a lost cause to return it to me. So many other people have donated to him so he could change the boat configuration to that it's too late. Yeah. I will talk about the Geiger counter readings being static since I started measuring them and how Dana has the same readings as I do with the same Geiger counter. And if Energy News was reporting such high levels of change about Fukushima, I should be picking them up here. These are the things I know. The ocean, I don't know enough about. Well, good thing is I live right here by the ocean, and I've been doing that type of testing. So, again, I'll be coming to the comments. So if you have a comment, hang tight. And also, if your comments are good ones, you might want to wait until the video has been processed and re-uploaded on YouTube and share it with everyone. That's all I can do for now is the Dana interview. That's what I was saying. Dana's already shown what kind of data he's able to produce. He takes pictures. That's all he does. He takes pictures. He takes censored pictures of areas where he's never been to or photographed before and turns them around and makes them out and makes outrageous claims on how there's over 5,500 species that have vanished from the coast. Can you imagine that? And I keep telling all these shills, all these haters, please tell me which ones of these 5,500 species have vanished. For the guy who can't even name one single species in this video, I would like to know what the other 5, heck, even half of them. I haven't seen this, folks, okay? So if you're wondering, he knows what he's pulling up. I don't. I have no idea. I try not to think about this. Like I said, I spoke to him. It was roughly the last time, I think it was about a month before he passed away. In the beginning, you're seeing in the beginning when we first started chatting with each other was back and forth in emails. He's saying by November 28th, CD, I'm beginning to understand the bigger picture now about all the Fukushima stuff. Share more on Dana if you can, please. It's helping me see the bigger picture. As I mentioned, I will start with Blanche interview, then we can move forward from there to include all the different players involved with Fukushima. All the different players involved with Fukushima. I just got to understand how they're all interconnected, and I think I'm getting the bigger picture. Oh, he did. Like I said, I'll share his video before he took his life. He knew what was going on. It's the Freemason frauds. The Illuminati are right here on YouTube controlling the whole system. Having their fakester, their frauds, scamming you, pretending to have cancer, pretending there's Fukushima radiation, kill everything on the West Coast. These are the frauds that are being exposed, and that's why they are in panic mode. He goes on to say, the Geiger counter readings were an eye-opener for me, and so was your info about the Fukushima isotopes needing to be measured in the water, and so was your interview with one of Terry Daniels' prior bosses. This is the guy who helped set up Dana in the beginning of the fraud in 2014, and they found out after I interviewed Terry Daniels' boss, his boss let us all know that, yeah, I had to fire the son of a bitch because he essentially, I can't prove that he took the cash, but, you know, it's only him and I that have the key for the office, and he says that he put it in the office drawer, and I come back to, you know, because he lives on the mainland in Vancouver, so the boss has to fly to Vancouver from that area. I should say fly. He takes a ferry. He takes 2 ferries to get over there to his piece of properties, and only to find out the manager told him he put the money in the drawer. And when the boss gets there, opens up the drawer, there's no money. He says, I can't prove that he stole it, but he says, you know, you don't have to be a detective to figure out that if he's the only person that has the key for the office, how can someone have gotten in the office, stolen? There's a lot of money. There's about $36,000, if I'm not mistaken, that was stolen that time. Is how can someone get into the office and steal all the rent money? The guy scammed me, so I fired his ass. And that's why he says, thank you for doing the interview with one of Terry Daniels' prior boss. I'm starting to understand the bigger picture now. Yeah, they're all frauds. That's the picture. That is what's happening. Okay. Hey, Dots, I just found out that Dana has some kind of criminal record. Now he has 2 of them. He has 2 criminal records now for something or another. Do you know anything about it? No, I didn't. Like I said before, I'm just starting to see the bigger picture. I need time to understand the entire thing. I see Blanche as just a promoter of a nuclear fear propagation and does nothing but promote the fear. We have nuclear power, and it's not going away regardless of what he says he does. Remember, I got out of the hospital. My world is different from when I went in. That's because when he went in, he was what? Upset. He had lost it, and he was also high on morphine. And now he's coming out months later. He's clean now. He's sharp looking, good looking guy too. Everyone was saying that. Man, does he ever look good? He was cleaned up, shaved, looked totally different. He gained some weight. Please be patient. I'm getting there. Like I said, I'm good starting with Blanche interview and going from there. Just sorry, I just hi Dots. I was a believer in the Fukushima stuff that Blanche and Dana pushed as reality. I've come a long way since then and believe it's mostly Fukushima fear being pushed. If the meltdowns happen and it got worse every day, why are we not all dead? What direction were you wanting to go with an interview? Man, I wish I'd done that interview. That's because we went into the holidays. That's what's happening here. We're in November, it's October. I never end up having that interview. I did call him up a few times on the phone, and I shared that in my follow-up videos around that time frame. Oh yeah, this is when he wasn't out of the hospital at this point, October 2nd. I was speaking to his brother. Geoff had a brother named Kevin. I was telling him to call the RCMP, but we couldn't at this point because he didn't have a leg to stand on. He knew that the boat wasn't in his name. I'm looking at the titles right now, and I remember what that conversation was all about. He couldn't do anything. He was stuck at that point. Let it be gone now. Easy options. Okay, let's read this. Excellent, Geoff. You have pull on YouTube. So if you need to do a job, I'll enjoy the video. I'll do the video with you, for you, and reach the audience on 3 YouTube channels if necessary. I'm not letting go of the scam, as you may as well use me to get your money back. That's what I was saying to him. You may as well use me to get your money back, guy. Please allow me to use this one email to prove to people you are alive and back home and wanting your boat back from Dana as soon as possible. In fact, if you want to resend me another email stating such wording along with more wording stating you want your investment returned along with the interest accrued, I'll gladly make a few videos until your money is returned. I thought I could get the community rounded together. Man, was ever wrong on that one. Hi there, thanks for the support. It was tough to be scammed like I was. I'll be requesting the boat from Dana. I will also be working the Kevin Blanch scam too. More to come from me. 2014, an eye-opener year. Okay, so what's happening is, okay, that's what was going on. So on November 6th, I'm trying to find out why his brother wasn't getting back to me about doing a health update. Remember what you just saw a second ago? So what ended up happening is Geoff ended up coming back. He says, hi there, I'm back. This is Geoff now. Life has changed for me. My brother Kevin has been assisting me with the internet while I've been away. This is what I was telling you guys, you folks. He had a brother named Kevin, and that's who sent me all these checks and all this documentation when when Geoff fell sick or whatever. He had a mental breakdown because he realized he'd been scammed out of his life savings. It was his older brother Kevin that was sending me the information. So yeah, my brother Kevin has been assisting me with the internet while I've been away. I will be considering my options going forward. The internet scam sure took me for a ride. They did. So now we're going to go take a look at some Geoff Palko videos. And I want you to pay attention. These Freemason frauds who've accessed Geoff Palko's account, you'll notice how even when you put in the term Geoff Palko, guess whose video is going to pop up first? No, I've made a lot of videos about Geoff Palko. You got it, Kevin Blanch. November 19th, as he comes out of the hospital. This is where Kevin's trying to say everything's okay. And no, it all went sour, as you saw from the emails, right? Kevin's got one old video. I've got shitloads of information. I even received an email from Geoff Palko's biological mother. So let's get into these videos because this is Geoff Palko's own words. For anyone who's new to this, his YouTube channel was called The Original Punisher, and you'll get to hear what he had to say back then as he's trying to warn everybody of these Fukushima frauds.
This is Geoff, the Original Punisher. Fukushima fairy tale. Let's start off with Kevin Blanch and the GP No Regrets Fund. So I've been in contact with Kevin many times asking for information to show that the fund was set up as he claimed, legally and all above board. However, nothing's come out of that. He's avoiding me completely. So the GP No Regrets Fund was never established, never set up. So that means Kevin Blanch is no friend of mine. He stole my money from me and never followed through. So Kevin Blanch, no friend of mine. Now let's think about the ring here. We've got a ring of Fukushima fairy tales going on, just like a mushroom ring. Fukushima fairy tales. Dana and his boat trip. What's he actually doing for science? Absolutely nothing. All he's doing is driving around in his boat that I paid for, taking pictures underwater and showing them on the web. There's no science there, no Geiger counter readings, and no photos taken prior to show before life on the rocks he's checking out. All we're seeing is what's there right now. So who knows what was there before there. So that's another fairy tale. We don't have any solid data, just pictures. And pictures are only pictures. So this Fukushima fairy tale ring is pretty big. It encompasses a lot more than two people. It's a group effort, and I'm sure there is a lot more Fukushima fairy tale spinners out there than I can be aware of or know of. But this is just my video to share that Kevin Blanch is no friend of mine, and he basically stole my money. Dana Durnford, all he's doing is taking pictures of rocks and not have any scientific proof of water contamination or what was on the rocks prior to him showing up and taking pictures. So artists, there's a whole bunch of artists who are involved in this. It's a big ring, bigger than you can imagine, the Fukushima fairy tale ring. Anyways, Geoff, original Punisher. Hope this helps some of you see a little bit clearer.
Yeah. Hope it helps some of you see a little bit more clear now that you're hearing it from the person who's donated the most amount of money towards exposing the damages of Fukushima fraud. We'll hear another video of his because I have a feeling this video is probably going to go viral. And look at the massive job here, giving the thumbs down. This is what these frauds do. These scammers. This is why Blanch has all these fake YouTube channels. Some of them that he's showing to you on his own channel. You know, I mean, what ding dong goes and open up a bunch of YouTube channels with him sitting with girls and promotes his own channels on his own channel? Yeah. Okay. Anyways, long story short, let's listen up here to what Geoff shared with us in this video.
This is Geoff, the original Punisher. Today I'm going to provide an update on what Kevin Blanch and I agreed to when the GP No Regrets Fund was set up. What we shared here initially when we set the fund up in June of 2014, and all the information's out there, I've got nothing to lose here. So I'll share what we established for our contract between one another. So first off, I want to share I'm a disabled artist. I've been on long-term disability for 8.5 years. Going to share some of the details that Kevin and I agreed to prior to receiving the monies from me, and his guarantee as a friend and an experienced hedge fund manager on what he would be able to do.
Okay, so you just heard him say it. An experienced hedge fund manager.
Fund manager on what he would be able to hedge fund manager on what he would guarantee as a friend and an experienced hedge fund manager on what he would be able to do and accomplish with the money I provided him. So when we set up the fund, GP No Regrets Fund, he and I both agreed that my initial investment of $18,000 would be returned in full, along with interest, and any monies that were remaining within the account after the 6 months to 7 months would be his to use as he sees fit. As a friend, you know, I went along with the agreement, and I hope Kevin Blanch will stand by his side of the agreement we established. I'm glad that he shared in a recent video that it was set up with his team of lawyers and all legally established and every penny went in it.
Okay, the $18,000 Canadian, which was put into a fund. Every single penny of it was put into a separate fund, so legal to where I never spent one single penny of it. It's still sitting there. We actually bought the Apple derivative with it because I won't buy Apple stock because we're playing against, you know, I'm an ex-hedge fund guy. Every penny of it sitting there was all done legally by attorneys, completely legal, 100%. Everything was agreed legally between Geoff and I.
So just to
recap, so you realize it's a team, eh? Kevin's not alone filming this video. Someone's holding the video camera, knowing damn well that everything that's what this guy's probably saying is false. And you know that just by looking at how the camera's moving around. It's not sitting on a tripod. The camera's moving around. He's in someone's office trying to pretend he's at his lawyer's office, I guess, right? Because that's what it looks like, a lawyer's setting here. You can see the number on the door, and it looks like it's a chair. Long story short, he lied about the entire thing. Nothing was legal above board. He totally lied.
Which was put into a fund. Every single penny of it was put into a separate fund, so legal to where I never spent one single penny of it. It's still sitting there. We actually bought the Apple derivative with it because I won't buy Apple stock because we're playing against, you know, I'm an ex-hedge fund guy. Every penny of it sitting there was all done legally by attorneys, completely legal, 100%. Everything was agreed legally between Geoff and I.
So just to recap, Kevin and I both agreed in June that he would set up the fund and manage it, and then he would return my initial investment of $18,000 and some interest, and then he would keep the remaining monies and continue the fund to utilize as he required for his campaigning against the nuclear industry. Okay, this is Geoff, the original Punisher. Never surrender.
Yeah, they scammed him out of his life savings. The fraud, Kevin Blanch, the fraud scammed him out of his life savings. So did Dana Durnford. So I'm hoping Paul's going to come to his senses here now that he's seen these videos, these emails. I thought I recalled emails where Dots badgered Geoff to get the boat back. Well, we get to see here now and didn't need to badger him. Geoff Palko actually wanted the boat back, but knew damn well because Dana had purchased it and it was sitting in his name. He had to, you know, walk softly until Dana got his whole expedition done, and in the end, yeah, he asked for his boat back and nothing happened. So sorry to say there, Paul, and the rest of you. Again, I'm going to ask you folks to please give the video a thumbs up. Okay? This video too, if you want. Why not? But I'm speaking about this current video that we're in. But more specifically, I don't even care about the thumbs up. I'd rather you just share this with other people. I'll make sure I post it over on my main channel, connectingdots1.com. Okay, it'll be in this thread, and you can find the thread just by doing a search on Geoff Palko, his full name as it's written down here on his paper, on his Facebook. And I want to thank Bubba J. Blanch here for stirring the pot, because you sure did get them pissed off to the point where he's got to come down and give you that many thumbs down. Oh, they're hurting big time. So I'm going to take this, at this point here, we're done the live show. I'm going to just go to the comments and then I'm going to wrap it up. I just want to see if people have anything to say at this point, or maybe they have stories to share. At this point, Lonnie Clark is part of the fraud also. Correct. Paul Mobley is just misinformed. Shawnigan 77, Elaine Campbell is scum. Absolutely. Elaine knows the truth. She is the person that works at Dana Durnford's as a moderator for Dana Durnford, I should say. She's the person hiding all the comments. Big Swear, he's part of it also. Same Jeff Berwick. They're all part of it. They're all frauds. Thank you, Dots, for what you do. We may not be able to do anything for now for Jeff, but we will sure make sure this never happens again. That's why I've continued on. You know, I've even received my own stepfather. I had to ban my own stepfather on my YouTube channel because not only had he said in the past back in 2014 how I just need to leave it alone and go move on to something else, but just I think it was about 6 months ago, 9 months ago, where I made another video on these frauds. You know, it came out and said something in the comments how I need to leave it alone and go do something better with my time. I'm like, you know what? You're out of here, buddy. I'm sorry. But if you can't, and this is the problem with our society. He's a baby boomer, by the way. But I think it was happening before the baby boomers. But it seems that baby boomers may have really jumped on board on that one, where they have this attitude where they don't give a fuck about others. You should be doing well either. And I'm not like that. I'm really not like that. I care about human beings. The only time I didn't care is when I had a drug addiction. I didn't care about myself. I didn't care about the planet. I didn't care about others. I cared about my kid, my son, and that's it. That's it. And that's what actually got me cleaned off drugs the first time around. So long story short, I even banned my own stepfather because he tried to, you know, put me down instead of adding support. And this is, you have to understand, my stepfather and my mother, they're both people that are well off in life here. And both of them, as I'm doing my YouTube thing here on YouTube since 2009, right? You guys saw that? I've been doing this on YouTube since 2009. Well, prior to 2009, I was a blogger. And I tried to prevent my parents, my stepfather and my mother, and many other people, not just them. I tried to prevent them from losing a shitload of money because there was you know, this is what I do is I study conspiracy, science, planet, the planet, the CO2, climate change, nutrition, farming, all kinds of stuff. My topics are varied. You know, I've said that before. I'm all over the board here, but that's really how you connect the dots. If you get too wrapped up in just one specific topic, you're likely not to be able to connect the dots because you don't have that knowledge in this other field. So, you know, I used to think jack of all trades was a bad thing. Now I'm thinking, you know what, damn it, it's a good thing, because if I was not able to figure out all this shit, I mean, if I did not know all the shit that I know, I would never be able to connect all the dots on it. Okay, so that's what the YouTube name, the first one was Connecting Dots 1, if you're wondering what that's all about. YouTube took down my YouTube channel back in May of 2012 as I was nearing 8,000 subscribers because I was making videos on Fukushima every single day. So if you're wondering if I've ever done it, hell yeah, that's why even the Dots has a nuclear dot. I'm the guy who traveled back and forth across Canada in 2011 with 2 high-end Geiger counters. Well, one of them, I should say, was specifically really high-end. It was over, what, $4,000 altogether back then. Same type of Geiger counter. It's called a Ludlam 3A. It's used at nuclear plants. And I happened to find Fukushima radiation in the storm fallout, which is what I was telling everyone. We had dutchsinse over in the USA scamming people, doing atmospheric testing. I was telling them you'll never find it down in the atmosphere. Well, I'm not saying never, but you're definitely have much better odds at finding it in the rain, because when it rains, it pours radiation. And later on, I found out that it was actually being on the edge of a storm is when it's the best. And if you remember the video I filmed back in Calgary that summer of 2011, as I'm coming back from my radiation tour, I'd already driven back all the way to the East Coast. Now I'm driving all the way back home to the West Coast. And as I was coming into the city of, I think it was Calgary that morning. Yes, Calgary. On the outskirts, a little bit of a storm was starting to form. It was, you know, it was more north of where I was, and it was over the city of Calgary. But I stopped there. I pulled out the Geiger counter. We did a quick testing and boom, found high levels of radiation, only to hear from Health Canada roughly, I think it was roughly about a month and a half later, that on the same day, the Geiger counters in Alberta, in the city of Calgary, also found Fukushima radiation. So my Geiger counters could not detect, could not name what isotope it was. My Geiger counters were set up to detect high levels of radiation. So I found the radiation. The government did the testing with the proper equipment, identify the specific isotope. So they basically verify that what I had found was Fukushima radiation. So back in 2008, when I was trying, by the way, if you're wondering if this is when I was warning of the market crash. Sorry, the thread starts up at the top. Buy when there's blood in the streets. I posted it a couple of days before that, 10 days before that, February the 6th, a live stream. This is the video here telling people I'm calling the markets. This is what I do. I research conspiracies, and since then I've learned how to read charts. So I've continued on and progressed. Like I said, life for me is never-ending education. It's the university of never-ending education. That's the way you got to keep yourself active. Keep that brain going. You got to keep a new trick for that dog every day. So at this point here, I was telling everyone the trick's in, the bottom's in. We're going to see a bounce. And prior to that, I was letting everyone know that in 2015, I'd warned of the 2016 stock market crash 6 months earlier. And back in these 2012 forums, back in 2008, when I joined, you can see down below, Thursday, March 20th, 2008. This is where I contacted my parents. That stepfather I was telling you about that doesn't want to help out, thinks I'm wasting my time. Well, I wasted my time on him and my mother and others trying to warn them that the stock market was going to crash. In fact, I wasted a lot of time on them. Not specifically him. He did receive probably about 4 or 5 warnings. My mother, though, she had a whack of cash in the markets. And she's too old to go back to work at this point. So I'm like, you know what? I really got to work on her. She thought it was crazy. Her reply to me was as similar to almost similar. It was the same as my doctor. I think you're spending too much time on the internet. So, I'm someone here who's trying to help people. And when it comes to Geoff Palko, I'm not going to give this up because, it is about hitting the frauds. And I think we're having an impact. So I want to thank Bubba for doing these videos. Thank you so much. I hope so too. I hope to carry on my work for a long time. I missed the first hour. Oh, that's too bad. Fukushima fraudsters did good work. That guy, yeah. I think it was a guy. I'm not sure. Rest in peace, Geoff. Thanks for trying to help him. Yes, that's the way I feel. Okay, I'm going to end it here. I want to thank everyone for coming out here. I don't want to make the video too long. I want to keep it short so people can share this information and get to see the emails themselves. This one here alone is just going to have a big impact on Ackerman. And that's why I like the fact that these other YouTubers like Bubba J. Blanch, who's taking this stuff and making smaller videos out of it, because I can't be doing this all the time. I broke my neck in 3. I've got my own little misery pack that I'm trying to deal with, get my life back together again. So I can't be doing this all the time, but I really appreciate when others are making videos on it. So if you happen to come across those videos, why not give it a thumbs up? And like I said, please share this one here. For anyone who's new to Fukushima, they need to know what's gone on here on YouTube since 2014. All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for showing up. I'm going to end it here.